Hey, what's going on there, YouTube? This is SEL0320 representing JVS. I got done reading Batman the Murder Machine #1. This, wow. I thought that, the Red Death was a really good story, but this is on some next level stuff. Because they did a better job, in my opinion, in this one, showing like a real intricate backstory as to explanations of why. It's not like with the Red Death, like this is a consequential thing, but you don't have any context to why. With this one, seeing like Alfred getting tortured, I was just like, oh my gosh, like I was sitting there feeling it, and the fact that Bruce would repeat that over and over and over in his head, I was just like, what the heck? But all right, let's just go into the bare bones of this. At its core, this is a really great story. It's not even just like a great Batman story. This very much so feels like a Cyborg story, even just as much as it does Batman. I think that's perfect. That they can interweave so much context as to, the love that Victor has for his dad, Star Labs, everything like technological and elemental, the potential of what, Victor Stone or Cyborg could be versus everything that's happening to Batman in this story. And I think that in and of itself, from a writing standpoint, is amazing. But the illustrations of this, whenever they do like the backfold stuff, like showing like how some things happen, I was just really surprised because I love the style of this. I love the way that the aesthetically actually looks and the way it was painted and brushed. It was just a beautiful thing. But even more than that, like who this murder machine is and what his potential is. Like the fact is that like it wasn't like, okay, Bruce decided to go and do this and he is this. Like this guy got taken over by a artificial intelligence that I don't want to spoil, but it was like how this artificial intelligence got created, the ramifications of its creation, what its capability of, just alone, and then now that Batman or Bruce is absorbed into it, it's like everything that we know about Batman, minus all the rules, minus all the empathy, any kind of fear, any kind of hesitation, like he became fear so he could overcome his fear. Take that out, what does that make him? You know what I'm saying? And so it's like without human emotion, without any kind of remorse, I was sitting there looking at some of the things this murder machine does and like how he systematically took down certain things and certain people, and then the Justice League, and then like even his relationship and communication with the Victor Stone from both universes. I was really taken back. I thought that they did a really good job pulling it back and forth, back and forth. But the biggest reveal was like at the very end of the third act, and like Victor was kind of basically incapacitated, and all of a sudden like around him was like these like mounds of Batman, and I was just like, oh, they about to jump him. And I was like, yo, honestly, this comic book made me question if it's even possible that the Justice League can beat this. Honestly, I remember seeing like the initial cover art for the Dark Knights, and I remember this huge statue would look like to be a statue of Batman, and it looked like it aged for years or hundreds of years. And I'm starting to feel like Earth Zero, that's what it's gonna become. Earth Zero, I don't know if Earth Zero is what everything is taking place in, but I feel like that's what's gonna end up being the reality. Like that's just gonna be it. And I think that wherever Batman is, he is the answer to all of this. Now, I'm not saying that Batman can go and beat any of these other Batman. I don't see how he could. But I can definitely say that he has all the tools to do so, because when I read Gotham Resistance #2, and all of them got the metals and they used it as weapons, I was just like, okay, if Batman did survive and he came back, he's gonna come back with something. So I just don't know, but I can definitely tell you, looking at this comic made me question if it's possible this war can be won. I don't feel like it's not. I feel like everything's just gonna go down. And the Batman that laughs, oh my gosh, that dude's scary. But this Murder Machine, oh man, this might be better than the Red Death. So I give this one a 10 out of 10 too. And I know that might be biased, but this is a great comic book. This is a really good comic book, so I highly recommend you go and read it. I didn't spoil everything. Didn't spoil some of the ramifications of what happened, how the artificial intelligence was created, you know, or even like what happens to anybody after the fact. So there's still a lot you can learn from this. And hopefully this enticed you to check this out at least and go and read it, or maybe go and get it digitally. But I'm gotta go and read these two bad boys, Suicide Squad number 26, and then Action Comics 988. And I'll talk to you guys later. Keep it locked. JVS, we ain't gonna stop. And the reaction to this is coming up pretty soon. Peace.